Ladies and gentlemen, Uganda is once again at the center of global outrage. In a shocking development, Barbara Kyagulanyi, the wife of Ugandan opposition leader Bobi Wine, has reportedly been brutally assaulted by Ugandan security forces during a late-night raid on their family home. This incident is not just about one family. It raises serious questions about power, repression, and the future of democracy in Uganda. So what really happened, and what does this mean for Uganda and the region?
These people were drunk and they were very provocative. One of them asked me in Runyankore how I could end up marrying a traitor of Uganda as if I never saw Runyankore to marry. Yesterday, the group that came to raid our home was a different group. They were so many, heavily armed, drunk, and they looked the same and spoke one language. They broke into the gate, the lower gate. Our askari was in a different corner, so he saw them and he called me. Our askari saw them and called me. I had already gone to bed. I was just preparing to read like one page of my life and then sleep. The askari called me and said, "These men are many and they are coming in this time." So in the moment, I got out of the bed, switched off the bed light, then tried to walk out of the bedroom and lock it, looking for a place to hide. But then I realized that was the wise thing to do. I opened the bedroom again, went in, opened the balcony room to make a video of at least some evidence of these people were coming in. I just shot a small snippet thing because already they had ladders and they were climbing to our veranda. So when I shot that, I locked the veranda door again, went in, sent the video to our son Solomon, and I asked him to let people know that we were under attack. Then I called our other son, who is also my brother-in-law, Dax, and I told him, it's finished. These people are coming in definitely. So I walked out of the room, locked the door, and then went down the stairs. When I reached the stairs and looked in the window, there was this big group of men. Every window had like 10 men in it. And they said, "Open the door." They said it in Runyankore. I replied in Runyankore and said I was not going to open. So I passed the stairs, went to the general bathroom, locked the door, and called our neighbor, one of our neighbors. And I said, "We'll have a problem here, let everybody know." Then I came out of the room. When I came out of the room, they were already coming into the sitting room. They had finished breaking everything. There were so many, very many. They went to all directions of the house, ceiling, rooms, kitchen, outside in the compound, on the verandas, my bedroom, kids' bedrooms, bathrooms, everywhere. They were everywhere. They were very many. In that moment, they did not allow me to follow anybody where they were. One of them told me to give them my phone. He came and sat behind me, told me, "Give me your phone." I gave it to him from this angle. He put it in front of me and said, "Give me the password," in Runyankore. And I said back, "I'm not giving you the password." He said, "You're going to give me the password." And I said, "I'm not going to give you the password." He left, went outside on the veranda, came with other 4 men. So when he came back, he went in the same position where he was. He lifted me by the trousers. I was wearing 90 trousers and a shirt. He lifted me by the trousers, lifted me up, and then the one who was standing in front of me strangled me by the neck from the front. And then he told me, "Give me the password." And I told him in his face, "I will not give you the password." The one who was behind here pulled my shirt. So now I was between 2 men. One was strangling me and one was pulling my shirt from there. And you know how the button chokes you here? So the baton was choking me. I kicked the man who was in front of me. And when I kicked him in someplace very hurtful, and he walked away, then this one pulled me and all the buttons broke. Then he stayed with the shirt in his hands. So I walked across the room naked.
According to Bobi Wine and multiple independent reports, heavily armed security officers stormed his home in Magere on the outskirts of Kampala. Bobi Wine himself was not present. Instead, the security forces allegedly turned on his wife. Barbara Kyagulanyi has described being held at gunpoint, physically assaulted, strangled, verbally abused, and humiliated inside her own home. She was later rushed to hospital, suffering both physical injuries and severe psychological trauma. The house was reportedly ransacked with phones, laptops, CCTV equipment, and personal documents taken away. The goal, according to Bobi Wine, was simple: to force his family to reveal his whereabouts. This is not an isolated event. Uganda has a long history: militarized politics, crackdowns on opposition, use of security forces to silence dissent, but targeting a political opponent's spouse crosses a dangerous line. It sends a chilling message: no one around you is safe. Human rights experts argue that collective punishment, intimidation of families, and gender-based violence are tools commonly used by authoritarian regimes when political pressure intensifies. This is not just a Ugandan issue, it is a human rights issue. The incident has triggered concern beyond Ugandan's borders. Opposition leaders have condemned the raid. Human rights organizations are calling for investigations. International observers are questioning Ugandans' commitment to democratic norms. For East Africa, this raises uncomfortable questions. Can opposition politics survive under military intimidation? Are elections becoming meaningless if force decides outcomes? And how long can regional silence continue? Uganda is a key regional player. Instability there affects Kenya, Uganda, South Sudan, and the wider Great Lakes region. Bobi Wine represents a new generation of African opposition politics, youth-driven, populist, reforms-oriented. But that popularity has made him a constant target. Arrest, beatings, house arrest, and now alleged violence against his family. The message from the state appears clear. Opposition will be met not with debate, but with fear. The alleged assault on Bobi Wine's wife is more than a tragic personal story. It is a mirror reflecting the state of democracy in Uganda today. When power feels threatened, it often shows its true face. The question now is, will justice be served? Or will this become another forgotten chapter in Africa's long struggle for democratic freedom? Ladies and gentlemen, do you think targeting politicians' families is a sign of a collapsing democracy or a strategy of fear that works? Let me get your thoughts in the comment section.